Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Tacoma. I'm so glad that you decided to join us here on this wonderful spring morning. And as those of you that have experienced this week know that it has definitely been a week of spring weather in Washington State. Yeah, I think a couple days ago it was just 80 degrees. And then the next day it was 55 and raining. And today we're kind of back at the midpoint again, where we're gray and kind of overcast. So it's been a beautiful, wonderful Pacific Northwest week. And so I hope you were able to get out in some of that beautiful sunshine this week. It was just gorgeous. And I was really thrilled to be able to get out myself. So it was nice to be able to do that and to do a little bit of yard work, which is what I enjoy doing. So I'm so glad that you decided to join us on this day. If you're new to Unity of Tacoma, if this is your first time here, I'd like to welcome you, whether you're here in person on our Zoom platform or if you're visiting online with on YouTube. We're so glad that you're here because it doesn't matter what time of week you join us, as long as you do, as long as you're allowing your consciousness to join with ours, because the more consciousness that we have, the better we're able to influence the world in positive and beautiful ways. If you've decided to join me again, if you've been here before, I'm so glad that you have decided that this is where you would like to be, and this is where you would like to be spiritually fed today. So thank you. I'm so grateful for you today. And each and every day you decide to join us, or whether you join us or not, I'm still grateful for you. So today's talk, we're going to talk about the power of healing in groups. And I'll often, all of us actually have some experience of being healed or healing others in the capacity of group settings. And I'd like to talk a little bit about that. I've been very fortunate to be able to take some classes recently. For those of you that know me, know that I've always been part of a healing modality. Was a massage therapist and an energy healer, and so I'm moving into a different space in my life right now, and so I'm taking healing to the next level. So we're going to be talking about healing today, and so I hope you're ready to do that. I would like to first turn it over to Victoria. Victoria, do you have some announcements for me today?
Yes, I sure do.
Great.
Sorry, I had to get turned on.
That's okay.
Okay, so as usual, you all know if you're here or if you see us later that we are online on Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock. And we have our pray-in prior to that at 9:15 in the morning. And we have a talk back after the service. So between 10 and 11, we are online on YouTube and public. And if that enables us to be able to be available to you on YouTube when it's not Sunday morning. So we welcome you all. And we're glad that you're here whenever it is. Also, now we're at June. So tomorrow is the first Monday of the month. And the Resistance Choir will be meeting at 6 o'clock at the Martin Luther King and about 16th at the People's Center for the Resistance Choir rehearsal that happens every month on the first Monday of the month. Also, our sandwich outreach program is coming back into full mode, and we will be starting that next Saturday, which will be the first Saturday of the month for our sandwich outreach for the homeless project. We will be meeting at South 54th and South Tacoma Way in Tacoma at the Surge Building, entering at the corner. There is parking in the rear if anyone would like to join us. We start at 11 and go to about 12:15. We make 100 sack lunches to feed the homeless, and we are working in cooperation with Nativity House, which is part of Catholic Community Services and St. Leo's Church. We are working in this homeless project with other organizations besides just us. We are coming together as full community to try to help all of those who are in trouble already as far as housing and food is concerned, and those that it looks like are going to be needing it even more. We are there for our community, and it's very, very high priority for us. And let me think. Just reporting that we had a person-to-person activity go on yesterday, going down to Nisquality to see our famous Curtis Beach in action in his theater program. It was absolutely marvelous. We caravaned down there, and it was raining, and it was supposed to be an outdoor production. However, his friends, of which he has so many, he has affected the lives of so many people, cleaned up the clubhouse so we could be indoors, and it was beautiful. It was wonderful, like it was planned that way in the first place. Universe at work, don't you know? So I think probably that's all that's running in my mind right now. Did I miss anything, Lori, that's important?
Just can you speak to the book study? Are we on hold with that or?
Oh, yeah. We finished the 4 agreements, and that was a really powerful book club that we did and impacted so many of us in so many different ways. And for many of us, it was a refresher, but in a lot of ways, it was another new beginning. We have decided to take a break from book club for a while we work on figuring out what book to do next. And so if anybody out there has suggestions, please let us know through our website at unityoftacoma.org. That's how you can reach us, and give us your suggestions. When we resume book club, we have been meeting on Wednesday evenings at 6:30 and going till about 8. And but for right now, we're going to be on a break for a while until we find just the right selection.
All right. Thank you,
Okay.
Victoria. That was great. It's nice to have you back. I'm so
Thank you.
glad.
Thank you.
My announcement guru was gone for 2 weeks. And so I was telling them how much I missed you and I'm so glad that you're back. So
Thank you.
thank you for
Thank
keeping
you.
track of all of that.
Thank you.
All right. All right. So let's go into our time of prayer. We're going to go into the prayer for protection. So if you don't know the words of the prayer protection, they're going to be on the screen for you. And let's just say this together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. And wherever we are, God is and all is well. And as we're already sitting in this beautiful space of prayer, let's go deeper. Take a breath.
And here, do you want me to turn the sound up?
We allow it to go through us, to allow that energy to flow. Because no matter where we are, whether we're sitting together in a room or we are sitting together in a city or state or country or in the world, we are together, we are connected. And we know this is so. Not only are we told this through Unity teachings, but we just know in our hearts, whenever we connect with that inner space within, that divine space, we know that we are community no matter where we are. We can feel each other's presence. And so at this time of prayer today, as we go into this talk on divine healing as a community, let's just take a moment to soak in the healing from this community, to be able to focus on that which is ours to do today, to support each other through this hour, to allow us to kind of inoculate ourselves for the coming week with this divine love that we experience with each of us when we're together. And it supports us and holds us up, uplifts us through times of difficulty throughout the week until we meet again next Sunday. Anytime we need the support, we just remember our family and friends at Unity of Tacoma, and we know that we are calling that divine community to support ourselves, to support others, and to bring that to fruition. So as we move through this service, we say thank you. And it's with gratitude that we move into a new week with all the possibilities of healing and support and love and compassion and kindness. And it's with gratitude we say, thank you, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for each other. Thank you for being here to support me. Thank you for allowing me to support you. Because that's the whole point of all of this, is that we're here to love. And so again, I say thank you. And so it is. Amen. All right. Let's get over here. You can see that I'm going back and forth between screens here. All right. So our affirmation, oh shoot, I should have just had the affirmation up at the same time. All right. Sharing again. Our affirmation for today: I am one with divine life. The healing presence of God flows through me now. So let's say that together. I am one with divine life. The healing presence of God flows through me now. All right. So now we can start. I have a reading today, and for those of you who know me, know that I am always dropping the name Dr. Joe Dispenza. I am a huge fan of Dr. Joe, and not just because he has really great advice and he's a doctor, but I've been following his research, his scientific research into the healing process and what it is that we as human beings have the capacity to do. And I've been following him since I watched him in a movie, What the Bleep Do We Know? Is that the name of it? What the Bleep is the name of the movie. And he was in there and he did a wonderful job, and he really inspired me to look further into my own healing process. So Dr. Joe Dispenza has several books out, but one of my favorite ones is his last one. It's Becoming Supernatural: How Common People Are Doing the Uncommon. And he talks a lot about our ability, our capacity to heal ourselves and how that comes about. And he has a lot of different big seminars and conferences. I mean, they've gone from seminars to like thousands of people in a conference all around the world. And he does when they meet together, they're not just about talking to each other and him standing on stage, which he does that quite a bit. However, they also do scientific research on the individuals who come to these conferences. And they've had some really great results from everything that they've taken, all the data they've taken. The scientists are there, and they're kind of stunned at the kind of results that these kinds of community meetings come together and to be able to cause transformation and sometimes spontaneous healing for a lot of people. So the reading for today is from his last book, Becoming Supernatural. I would recommend that you read that. At some point, I would like to read that with us in our book study. But it's really a good opportunity for us to get kind of a taste of what it is that he talks about. So Dr. Joe Dispenza says in his book, the evidence from peace-gathering studies suggests that our thoughts and feelings do in fact have a measurable effect on everyday living systems. You may have heard of this as the concept of emergence. Envision the synchronicity of a school of fish or a flock of birds flying in unison, where all creatures appear to be operating from one mind. What's unique about this phenomenon is that it's not a top-down phenomenon, meaning there is no leader. Instead, it is a bottom-up phenomenon, meaning everyone is leading because they are acting as one mind. When a global community comes together in the name of peace, love, and coherence, according to emergence, we should be able to produce an effect in the Earth's electromagnetic field, as well as in each other's fields. So just imagine what it would be like if we were all behaving, living, thriving, and operating as one. If we understood we are of one mind, one organism connected and united through consciousness, we would understand that to hurt another or affect another in any way is to do the same to ourselves. This new paradigm in thinking would be the greatest evolutionary leap of our species that has ever been made, causing the need for warring, fighting, competing, fearing, and suffering to become an antiquated concept. But how could this possibly become a reality? Again, that was Dr. Joe Dispenza from Becoming Supernatural. So for those of you who know me, you know that I have come from years of, I was a massage therapist. I do alternative healing. I'm a Reiki, a practitioner. I do other types of healing modalities, and I really enjoy that. And I've had a very wonderful, many experiences in healing of myself and in others that have happened in group situations. So I'm going to tell you a story about one certain situation that really sticks out in my mind. And you may have heard this story because it was something so profound that I do tell it quite frequently. So once upon a time, a couple of years ago, actually, we had a Reiki share. So what a Reiki share is, if you're unfamiliar with that, is when you have this Reiki, people who are familiar with and trained in Reiki, which is a healing modality, energy healing. They come together in groups, and they heal each other, and they heal other people who come to visit. And so we had a little Reiki clinic going on where we opened it up to the community, allowing people to come in, to actually sit in chairs and to wait, just like if they were coming to a medical clinic. They signed it at the little front desk that we had. A little receptionist was sitting there to take their information, to give them information about Reiki if they were unfamiliar with it. Most of them who came in knew what it was about, but they came in and they had a seat, and they waited for their turn to be able to get on a Reiki table. And we also had some chairs as well. But we had about 6 or 7 Reiki tables there, and about 6 or 7 healers working at the same time. It was a great opportunity. And for those of you who know me, you know that I have a chronic condition called myalgic encephalomyelitis, or ME, and fibromyalgia. And ME, and both by ME and fibromyalgia, are fatiguing disorders where my energy is very low. So I get depleted very quickly. So this was my first time back doing a healing kind of situation in this way in several years, because I hadn't been able to do it because of my energy levels were very low. So I decided, well, I would give it a try. And if I had to tag out, then I had plenty of other people who could come in and be able to do some healing in my stead. So I was sitting there, I had my table, I had it all set up, and I was ready to take my first client. And we did this for like 3 hours or so. So we could see maybe 5, 6 clients in the time that we were there. So my first client of this day was a little lady that came in with her daughter, and she was moving so slow, and you could tell that she was stiff and really having a real hard time moving, and she was just very rigid. Of course, she moved to my table. The daughter had explained to me that she had ALS, and she was diagnosed with this neurological disorder, which caused a lot of problems in her body, where she was unable to move. She was unable to relax her muscles. And it was quite, you could tell it was really affecting her, and it was affecting her sleep. The daughter said that she hadn't had a full night's sleep, and she didn't know how long. And so she was there to get some relief. And she hadn't been to the Reiki share before. This is the first time. So her daughter and I helped her get up on the table. It wasn't too high. I didn't keep it too high. And if you know me, I'm not very tall. I'm only 5'2". So it wasn't too far off the ground. So we were able to get her on the table, but we couldn't get her to lay flat because she was so rigid and stiff. So we placed some pillows and blankets around her to try to keep her as flat as possible and as comfortable as possible while she was on the table. And for me, when I start doing healing, I sit at the head of the table where the person's head is. And Reiki, in this case, we did not do any hands-on healing. This was all above the body. And Reiki can be done in an energy field as well as doing hands-on. So this was the energy healing healing we were giving. So we were we weren't putting hands on the body. So what we were doing was, I would sit at the head of the table, and then what I do is I just get connected with the body. I get connected with the person that I'm with. And then I just sit there and I open up this space and I allow the healing energy to come through me. And I've had several different Reiki teachers over the years. And one of the ones that I really enjoyed the most, he said, you can just turn on Reiki as quickly as saying Reiki on. And so I trained myself to be able to turn on that energy, to be able to allow that it doesn't, Reiki, it doesn't come from you, it comes through you. So I kind of flipped the switch and allowed like I turned the faucet on and allowed this energy to come through me. So when I say Reiki on and I'm in this space, I'm allowing this space that I've created to fill with this energy that comes through me. And so as I'm connecting with this human being in front of me, I am just feeling into what their body needs. And it's something it's really hard to explain unless you've experienced it yourself. If you've ever been on the table or if you've been a healer in this circumstance, you kind of just know when you're getting into that space. So I'm sitting there waiting for that opening to happen, for that connection and that communication between my body and her body. Because like Joe Dispenza says, it's not a top down. I am not the leader in this situation. I am just a person who is there to facilitate this wonderful energy through me and Asby. So here I am sitting in this space and I start to get the feeling that it's time for me to move around. So I get up and I start moving around her body. And this movement from back and forth in the situation goes on for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, half an hour. And then when I feel that she's complete, I feel throughout the treatment, I felt that her body was starting to relax and to settle. And by the end of the 30 minutes, she was laying flat again. We had to move some pillows so she could lay flat. And then she was laying flat and she was almost asleep. And I just felt, okay, this is the time. So I knew that we were complete because I could feel it in my body. So then I move away, come back to I go this time, instead of the head of the body, I come to the feet. And then I kind of ended that way by kind of moving the energy away, not taking away, but kind of disconnecting that time of healing. And she was just feeling so comfortable and so relaxed. And myself, who gets depleted whenever I do any kind of physical activity because of my own chronic condition, I was energized. For hours and hours and hours after this treatment with her, I was energized and I could go on and see another 6 clients for the rest of the day and was able to go home and still cook dinner and still be able to have a good evening without feeling fatigue. So this interaction in the community of this interaction between she and I, but in addition to she and I, we were in this room of other healers and other people who giving and receiving this energy. And so I was not, like I said, the person giving the energy. I was the conduit for the energy that was already within the room. And I was able to share that with this woman and to be able to give her the relief that she got. And she actually came back the following week when I was there, and she came to me and the daughter said to me, that's the first time in months that she had a full night's sleep. And I just felt like, I can't cure her in this moment, but maybe that tiny little bit gave her the relief that she needed in order to be able to heal herself. And it was such a profound experience that I tell this all the time when somebody says, well, do you really believe in energy healing? Yes, I do. I do believe in it wholeheartedly. And I believe that it can happen one-on-one, and it especially gets amplified when you're in a group. And so that's why I think when we meet on Sundays, even though we're not in the physical space together, we are connecting our energies together with intention. And there is no limitation between space and time between you and me. We are together. I'm connected to you. My intention to connect to you allows me to, wherever you are, to feel your heart, to connect with that healing energy. And it's something that I try to share with everyone, it's like everyone, especially during the pandemic, we all struggled with being online and on Zoom. And they don't feel the connection, the same connection that they did when they're in person. And I say that that's more about our limitations and our understanding of what energy and connection is. We believe that connection can only happen when we're sitting in the room together, and that's absolutely not the case. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And I'm going to talk about this transformative energy that happens when we come together with intention as a group, not necessarily in the same space, but we're intending to be together in a group. So whether we're in prayer or we're in meditation, or we're focused on this love and support that we give each other through prayer before we even meet today, during today's pre-meeting before the service started, we had prayer where we're sitting together, supporting each other, setting our intentions out, and just trying to create lasting change for each other. So that happens no matter if we're sitting in the room together or not. So throughout history, whether you're in a spiritual tradition or a different culture, or from around the world, we know that practices in communal healing have happened. It has been something that's been going on since the history of human beings. Indigenous tribes gathered around fires and had ceremonies and rituals that helped to restore balance for each other and their communities. They had, in religious congregations around the world, they've had prayer that support each other like we do when we're sick and struggling, but we also have prayer that rejoice and support and give compassion, kindness, and love to each other. And in recent years, though, science has been coming together. It is something that is not as focused on in science because, to be honest, there isn't a lot of funding to be able to find out how this energy healing is working in the world. But the Institute of Noetic Sciences and people like Dr. Joe Dispenza and Lynn McTaggart are doing research on how this healing energy affects ourselves and affects our communities. So when we come together, we're doing extraordinary things, not just together physically, but together intentionally with our consciousness. We can do a lot of things. So the research that we're experiencing that we're experiencing now with the people who are looking towards finding out what's going on with this energy healing, we are finding some data that says that it's actually happening. Now, I know that there are a lot of scientists in the world that say, yeah, well, there's a lot of bias that goes into that, and so that influences the outcome. Of course it does. Bias always, no matter what you're doing in science, bias is always going to support and influence the outcome. That's why we have double-blind experiments. So people, the people in the doing the research, they don't know who is getting the treatment. So there is not influence with their consciousness. So there's got to be something that says something there as well. Why does it have to be double-blind if our consciousness and our awareness is not influencing what's happening? There's a question I'll put out for our conversation later today. But we've known for centuries that when we share this intention, not just scientifically, but anecdotally, that there is a powerful field of energy that we're working with that influences healing. Now, if you talk about the human body as a mechanism, so we're a system. We're not a machine. So many people are worried about AI, and AI is very advanced and it's advancing very quickly. However, they don't have the same systematic influences that human bodies do. And so when consciousness comes through a human body, it is using the body in different ways. And it's using the system that's already there. So that energy that comes through us is doing its best to create homeostasis, allowing ourselves to be healed and whole. And the thing is that our modern medical models don't work with this energy field. They work with the body as a kind of a mechanism. It has all the organs and it has all of things that create the experience that we have in the human body to be able to live. But what is the animating process of our human spirit? What about that? how does that influence who we are, and how does that influence our healing? So a lot of people have been doing studies on how that's been happening. And one of those people is Lynn McTaggart. Now, Lynn McTaggart is a researcher who's conducted many different experiments demonstrating the impact of the collective thought on physical healing and even world events in the community. So not just healing for individuals or groups. She's also done research on how healing happens in the community. So in what she calls intention experiments, the groups of people focus on a specific outcome. So there's healing of a person or improved a situation in a community, and the results are statistically significant. Her results have actually caused change. So one of her most well-known studies involved a group of participants who are sending healing energy to individuals with a known medical condition. And I know specifically there was one she did for people who had just went through heart surgery. And so these recipients, sometimes they're aware, sometimes they're not. But over time, many of the recipients of this energy, they reported that they had a reduced symptoms, and sometimes they healed faster and they had better well-being and outcomes than they would have if they didn't have this healing intervention, especially when these healing intentions come from a group. We've seen bigger and better results. So she has these intention circles that come together to be able to allow the healing to happen from the group. And so it kind of amplifies it. So it's like having several speakers in a room. You can have one speaker attached to your stereo and you have a nice sound. But when you have several different speakers in the room, then you have this dynamic sound. And so it's kind of the same way. When we get together, we become a bigger and better and more dynamic energy field. And so she's done a lot of work on that and a lot of research, and that tangible results that she's getting, and she's reporting that and documenting that has been incredible. Dr. Joe Dispenza, as I was talking about earlier, he explores that intersection between neuroscience and spirituality and healing. And he has done a ton of research that looks at what causes people to heal. And so he's looked at meditation and group healing. He's learned about all kinds of different ways to heal people. He actually healed himself from a terrible bike accident he was in when he was younger. So his research, as over the years, has really expanded. And so every time that they meet, whether they're on a cruise ship, because he'll have these big, huge events on cruise ships, or in Cabo San Lucas, or in Portugal, and all around the world, he has all of these wonderful conventions. He's been able to collect all of this data, and they have scientists there to be able to measure what's happening in real time to these individuals who are being healed in this group. And his research has shown that when people enter this state of what he calls deep coherence, so when their hearts and their bodies and their brains are all in harmony, they activate this body's ability to heal itself. So, and especially when it's done in a group, it seems to be more powerful. And so even part of, if you've ever been part or have ever seen Dr. Joe Dispenza on YouTube or heard him talk on a podcast, you don't get the same kind of understanding of how huge these groups are until you get to see what's happening in his world and what he's doing with these individuals. So what he does is he takes people and groups of people during these conventions, and he puts some big chairs around this individual, and they put an individual on the floor on some blankets or pillows if they can. If they can't do that, then they'll sit them up on a chair. And they use healing intention, and they measure in the moment what's happening in the bodies of the individuals who are giving the healing energy and the individuals who are receiving it. And there is profound statistic differences on what's happening and in lowering the blood pressure, lowering the pulse rate, allowing the body to become more homeostatic. And when you get into homeostasis, that's when healing occurs. And so there are some wonderful things that are happening out there in science that are actually supporting what we've been doing at Unity for a really long time. So we have been doing this in Unity since the beginning with Myrtle Fillmore. And she is a co-founder of the Unity movement, and she was doing healing on herself. She had been suffering her entire life with a chronic illness, and she decided she had heard somebody speak about the power of intention and being able to use prayer as a way to heal. And so she started doing it on herself. And she was able to heal herself from her chronic illnesses and to spend the rest of her life pretty much healthy and whole, as much as you can be as a human being. She was thriving instead of just surviving. And so it was a wonderful experience. So she decided to start talking about healing and the power of healing prayer and meditation in the Unity movement. And that's how all this started. We started with, let's talk about how we can heal ourselves and how we can heal each other with that powerful energy that we have access to. I was talking, she also, in addition to healing herself, she started teaching others how to do it. And we also being able to hold space for other people. Now, if you're in Unity and been in Unity for a long time, you understand what I say when you're holding space for another person. We're not influencing what's happening to that person. We are allowing a space to be opened up for that healing energy to come in for that individual's greatest good. Now, for example, let's say that I have a sore throat, but that's not the problem I want healed right now. I want to heal my sore toe. Okay, let's just say that. So my intention to use the energy that comes to me is to heal my sore toe instead of my sore throat. But if somebody comes to me and says, well, I want to heal your sore throat. No, it's not about you. It's not about me. It's about opening up the space for that healing to occur. When you open up the space for healing to occur, then you are not getting in the way of that energy going where it needs to go. You are opening up the space, allowing the energy to know what needs to be done, because that is an intelligence beyond something that we can understand, to be able to heal where the body needs to be healed. And in that case, my sore throat and sore toe could be healed at the same time. So it's not just about what you want for the individual. It's not just about what they want for themselves. It's about allowing what needs to happen in the greatest good. What is happening needs to happen, and it allows the body to be the best it can be. But we need to open up space for that. And it's not about what we want for others. It's about what we want them to experience for themselves. So that's really hard to get around, because when we love people and we care about people, we have compassion for them. We want them not to suffer. We want them to feel better. But we can't impose our energy or that energy upon them. We have to allow. In the energy field, in my practice, I always ask permission before I touch anyone, whether it be a handshake or a hug. I always ask permission, because I am entering their space. And Dr. Joe talks about that too, when he was doing his energy experiments and he was doing scientific studies on that. He looked to see how far our energy fields expand. So when we're alone, our expanded energy field expands 3 feet or so. But when we're together, it expands much, much greater, out further than we could even imagine. And the more people, it's like we are nodes in this whole chasm of electrodes everywhere, and we are expending that energy. So the more people that are together, the more that we experience healing. And so that energy field expands, and he's been doing studies on that as well. So in Unity, we've affirmed that for years, that is something that's something that we've taken on faith. That we were told that this happened. We've had our own experiences with it. We know what it can do. And so we have faith that this happens. We did not need the data to show us that healing occurred. However, it's super nice to know that all the things that we've been doing are now starting to be supported by the science that backs it up. That we can now say that healing occurs when we allow ourselves to get into that energy space, to connect with each other, to allow that meditation and prayer to take us into a space of healing. And it's wonderful to have that data. So I want to reiterate that healing happens because we can. We have this ability, this innate ability that we are born with to be able to heal ourselves. When we cut our finger and we put a Band-Aid on it and then we take the Band-Aid off and it's healed, that's not because we put a Band-Aid on it. It's because our body has the ability to be able to heal itself. What happens is that we have stress, we have environmental things that are happening, whether it be something outside of ourselves, whether it be our jobs, or our focus is in the wrong space, or whatever it is. When we have things that interrupt that flow of energy, then that's what stops healing. So when we take a moment to open up that space, to be able to allow that healing to come through us, then healing does occur. It occurs without our consciousness. It actually occurs without our attention. As I said, you put a Band-Aid on your finger and it heals on its own. So we do not need to be attentive to the healing process other than knowing that we don't want to get in the way, because our bodies will do that automatically. And so not getting in the way of the energy, or being able to intentionally create times where we are allowing this energy to come through us. So we can create intentional healing circles. So we do that each Sunday here at Unity of Tacoma. We get together, we have a short prayer process where we are grateful and we pray for each other, and we're holding each other in space. We're holding that energy space where the greatest good can happen to each of us. We can hold a person that we know in intention. So if we know that there's someone struggling, someone that you love, you hold that space for them and you say, the greatest good is what I'm asking for, what I'm opening space for. And that greatest good will appear because that's what that energy is for. You can have, like I said, you can go into meditation. It's not just about prayer. When you go into meditation, whether it be alone or with a partner or with a group, the more you meditate, the more you open up that energy channel, so you can become the channel for that healing energy. And when you go out into the world, then you're taking that healing energy with you, that you become that conduit, and people are drawn to you. They come to you like you're that cute little they're the cute little bugs that come after the lights. The lights come on and they just scramble to the light, and they bathe in that. And that's exactly what we become when we become that, allow that energy to flow through us. We become the light, and we attract those people to come and to be part of our lives. So because they need healing, whether they realize they do or not. And when we're opening up our space, we trust in the power of spirit. We are not giving away our energy. We're not giving away anything by being these lights in the world. We are allowing this energy to flow through us, and we become the conduits for this healing for people who don't even realize that space is available to them. So today, I would like you to consider and invite you to be a little bit more of that healing conduit in the world. So how can you participate in healing, whether you be in a community or in a group? How can you do that today or this week? Who in your life can benefit for you holding space for them? Think about that. Allow yourself some time to do that, because it doesn't take anything but time from you, and time is not linear. So you don't lose anything by doing it. You just are opening that space to be, and that space is filled up for you as well as for the individual you're holding intention for. Just think about the story I told you earlier about what happened to me during that process of healing someone else. And how can you, in your interactions in your daily life, become that light for all those cute little bugs that want to come in and be healed, to be able to be drawn to you? And how can you be that conduit in the world? In what way can you say, okay, this moment, this time I'm taking, and I'm just allowing that space to open up for those people who need it? And you can do that intentionally throughout your week. You could just take little times of compassion and hold it for other people. So I just want to say that healing happens. Healing happens as we get into a group. The more we get together, whether we're together or not, and so a lot of the experiments that they did, as Lee McTaggart did, it was not about locality. It's about where we are intentionally in our consciousness. So it's not about sitting together in the same space. It's about bringing our consciousness together. And where Dr. Joe comes together with all of those individuals, there is spontaneous healing that happens with the intention. And his intention experiments are also about healing others. And he does a lot of Zoom opportunities to heal and opportunities to do this. He and Elsa Lynn have these opportunities to get together and do planet healing, where no matter where you are, everyone comes and with the intention to heal the planet. And there's some statistical data to support that things really did change. So we can make a change just by allowing that healing energy to flow through us, whether we're alone or we're together. And when we come together, we know that we are the brighter lights in the world, and we can be more than just being sitting around doing nothing. We can be intentional. We can be open, and we can allow healing for ourselves and other people. And so don't think that you're a bystander in what your body is doing to you. That's not the case at all. You are the co-creators in your world. So it's time for you to take a break and to say, hey, it's time to heal. It's time to allow, and it's time to be. So I want to thank you for listening to my ramblings. That was a pretty long talk, actually, longer than I anticipated it to be. I'd like to take you into meditation, and where you can do some healing of your own. So let me pull that up onto the screen, and we'll get started. Okay, let's do this. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And as you inhale, imagine that you're inhaling light. And as you exhale, allow any tension to ease away with the breath. As you gently breathe in and out at a natural pace, place your hand over your heart and affirm with me, I am one with divine life. The healing presence of God flows through me now. I am one with divine life. The healing presence of God flows through me now. Feeling this truth setting in and seeing any resistance that you may be holding, and let it go. Picture yourself bathed in a soft, radiant light, a light that is pure love and wholeness. As you continue to rest in this loving light, silently repeat to yourself, may I be filled with loving kindness. May I be held in divine peace. May every cell of my body be whole and well. May I know my oneness with God. Again, may I be filled with loving kindness. May I be held in divine peace. May every cell of my body be whole and well. May I know my oneness with God. Imagine the light within you expanding, gently touching any areas of discomfort or tension. If a thought of self-judgment arises, let it go. Return to the truth. You are whole. You are loved. You are divine. Now bring your awareness to the others in your space, those who are gathered with you in spirit and intention, or people or pets who may be sharing the space with you. Picture them each surrounded by that same radiant light. Feel the connection between you, a circle of divine love. Silently offer to them, may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be held in divine peace. May you be whole and well. May you feel the love that unites us all. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be held in divine peace. May you be whole and well. May you feel the love that unites us all. If you know someone within your group or in your home who are facing a challenge, hold them deeply in your heart and trust that divine love is at work. Now bring to mind someone you love outside of your house or outside of this group who may need healing, physical, emotional, or spiritual. Envision them surrounded by the same radiant light, and silently offer them, may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be held in divine peace. May every part of you be whole and well. May you remember your oneness with God. Again, may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be held in divine peace. May every part of you be whole and well. May you remember your oneness with God. Trust that divine love is at work in ways beyond what you can see. Now imagine this healing light radiating outward to your community, your country, and the entire world. Affirm for them, may all beings be filled with loving kindness. May all be held in divine peace. May all be whole and well. May all awaken to the love that connects us all. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. May all be held in divine peace. May all be whole and well. And may all awaken to the love that connects us all. Visualize our beautiful earth wrapped in divine light, pulsating with love and harmony. Bringing your awareness back to your breath, feeling the peace that now resides within you and around you. Affirm again, I am whole, I am loved, I am divine. I am whole, I am loved, and I am divine. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and carry this healing presence into your day. And so it is. All right, as we come back from that deep meditation, I'd like to read a quote by Henri Nouwen, who was a minister in his time. And so I'd like to offer you this short quote. Did I offer peace today? Did I bring a smile to someone's face? Did I say words of healing? Did I let go of my anger and resentment? Did I forgive? Did I love? These are the real questions. I must trust the little bit of love that I sow now will bear many fruits here in this world and in the life to come. So I want to thank you all for being here and listening today and being part of this intentional community. And so this is our opportunity now to be able to come together and to discuss, to talk about the topic of the day, which is healing.